Good evening. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ask an Expert number 18. Can you believe we're on number 18 already? It's Wednesday the 16th of May. It is 8 o'clock and I am live on Ask an Expert. I'm just trying to set up the tech part here because there's a question I need to check whilst we are chatting tonight, but anyone who's asked stuff, I like to watch it on the screen. So, boom, all set up, ready to go. We have an absolute mountain of things to get through tonight. So, I've donned my Hawaiian shirt. I have myself a gin and tonic in my pineapple glass. I was going to have just fizzy water, but I didn't feel I could do it to you guys because I know someone would have made a comment about it not being water, so I had to put some alcohol in it. So I have a gin and tonic in my pineapple glass, which ultimately I would rather was a pina colada. Anyway, we have so much to go through tonight. This is everything on my notes list to go through tonight. Absolutely loads. Starting with number one. Where's Emily? Where's my wife? Where's my business partner? My partner in crime? My lots of other words I probably should be thinking of. Positive ones, obviously positive ones. Anyway, she's out tonight. It is her cousin's 18th birthday and they've gone out to celebrate with the family. We didn't want to miss this for the world. We wanted to make sure we were here with you guys with all of this stuff for me to talk through. So I am here. I've sacrificed the 18th birthday. Hey Louise, you're right. You're on my list. You're on my talk about list, Louise. So I've sacrificed going out drinking and having food with the family for you lot. Basically, that's it. I don't need any, thanks or anything, but ultimately that's true. So I am going to crack on with the list. And as Louise, you have said hello, you can be the first thing we talk about tonight. Welcome back. We hope you had a fantastic honeymoon. Looks like you had a fantastic wedding, and from everything we know, which granted is not a lot, but you fed out bits and bobs, it looked to be a fab day. So welcome back, more importantly. Thanks for coming back, and hopefully you can share your pearls of wisdom that you've learned from your outdoor wedding with everyone else who's going to be getting married this summer and into the future, which leads us on to the next wedding. So we had Helen Day, who was a client of ours and a member of the Outside Bride. She got married at the weekend. We were there with Baylily Bell Tents. We put some tents up for her and for some of her guests. And we, what else did we do? We did some, I called it venue theming, and Emily told me off for calling it venue theming. Lots of pearls, love pearls. Venue theming, but put some fairy lights out and some scatter cushions and things. They had, they were the ones with the pallet tables, low tables, which looked really, really cool. And then Helen put a picture up of her and her husband, now husband Kieran, in front of the ribbon backdrop with her wearing a denim jacket, which looked fab, and loads of us all commented and liked on that picture. But it did make me think, would anyone wear double denim to their outdoor wedding? Now, I'm a bit of a traditionalist, even though I got married in a yellow suit, so I quite like traditional wedding dresses, but could you get a double denim wedding, a denim wedding dress with a denim jacket? That is my thought for the evening. So if anyone thinks they are going to pull off a double denim wedding, well, Hannah's here actually. She's next on my list to talk about, and I know she has a degree in fashion. So Hannah, your thoughts on a double denim wedding dress inspired by the picture of Helen Day with a denim jacket over her, who's now Helen Cole, I believe. Sorry, apologies, Helen, to Helen for the picture of her with the denim jacket over her wedding dress. Thoughts on a double denim wedding dress, please, everyone? Right, which then takes us up to, on my list here of loads to talk about, to Hannah. So Hannah is watching. Hi Hannah, as always. Hannah works with Emily and I here at the Outside Bride and Baylily Bell Tents, and Hannah is newly engaged. So Hannah got engaged 2 weekends ago now and put a blog post out on the Outside Bride, sharing a couple of her thoughts about her engagement and just in being engaged in general. So definitely go and check it out. And ultimately a huge congratulations to Hannah and her fiance Ian. And what was I going to say? Yeah, we're pretty confident Hannah's going to share some of her engagement kind of journey with us all, which we're quite excited about. We're working on her to have an outdoor wedding. Surely it'd be sacrilege if she didn't. So Hannah, you're having an outdoor wedding. What after that's up to you, but basically we're going to rewrite your contract and make sure it says outdoor wedding in it. Can you do that? We're doing it. It's fine. It's done. It's dusted. So Hannah, huge congratulations. Hi Yvonne. Thoughts on double denim wedding dresses still? I'd be interested to see what it looks like. Don't forget, Hannah, my yellow suit was poo-pooed until everyone saw it and went, actually, that looks okay. So I could be looking at something quite good in my head with my double denim choice. I have got a thought. Well, perhaps we'll discuss it tomorrow. Right. So that's Hannah. Emily's away again. Well, I'm rattling through this. I don't know why am I rattling through so fast. So I'm here for a while. So yeah, so let me just recap some bits. Louise is back from her honeymoon. It could be a new trend. Hannah, you know we're bang on trend here at the Outside Bride. We are trendsetters. But then saying that, anyone who says bang on trend is just not trendy. And basically, as I'm very fast approaching 40, I probably shouldn't be saying the word trendy. It's very Kevin and Perry's parents, isn't it? But there we go. I am a dad. I am nearly 40. Right. And I used trendy the other day with a 10-year... Now, what did I use? I used something the other day with a 10-year-old that I was pretty confident the kids were saying. And they looked at me like I was absolutely mad. And it just clarified that whether you like it or not... So I'm watching my new husband... what's his name, Louise? So whether you like it or not, you are not down with the kids when you get old. Wolf and Rosie is much to look at if you rock a rubber jacket. He wants to know what you are drinking. This is a gin and tonic, Louise. I was going to do fizzy water because I was trying to be good this week, but I absolutely knew someone would ask me what it was, and I didn't want to say it was just water, and I didn't want to lie, so I made it into a gin and tonic in my pineapple glass. And then as I sat here, because this is how my head works, I thought, why aren't I wearing my pineapple shirt? Hi, Matthew. And I'm regretting not wearing my pineapple shirt to go with my pineapple glass. Right, anyway, let's crack along. So yeah, Louise got married, Helen got married, Hannah's newly engaged, Emily's out on the lash for her cousin's 18th birthday. Love the ribbon backdrop. Everyone's rocking double denim jackets next year. Louise's husband's called Matthew. We spent 2 weeks in South... Actually, yes, South Africa is very good for its wine. Did you go to Stellenbosch? That's the kind of vineyard area. When I went to South Africa, it was good, and the wine was good, and the meat was fab. If you're a meat eater, it's granted. Right, so I'm going to go with the question we had that really isn't... Oh, no, sorry, scrap that. Keep going. Keep the answers coming, Louise, but I've got... more news. So this week on the Outside Bride on Instagram, we smashed through 3,000 followers to the extent that we're now on 3,108 followers, which is absolutely fantastic, and a huge thank you to all of you for following us. It's truly appreciated, you getting on board with this and sharing with each other and watching us on a Wednesday night and everything else, and just following us on Instagram is absolutely part of that. And that got me really thinking. So I was looking at our Baylily Bell Tents and the Outside Bride, its social reach, and we've got a social reach of 10,000. It's just under 10,000, which is so exciting. I mean, Emily and I 5 years ago decided to put up a bell tent for like a kids party, and here we are 6 years we say, don't we? 6 years later, you know, we're doing our Ask an Expert on a Wednesday night with a social reach of 10,000 and a couple of brands under our company. So we're very excited, and a huge thank you to all of you, which then made me think, and this is how my head works again, if 10,000 is our reach, how many steps have I done today? So I checked my watch, because we're all meant to do 10,000 steps apparently, and I'm on 9,819. So I'm on roughly the same amount of steps today as our social reach minus 100 or so. So I will go and do some more steps and get them to the same figure tonight. Right, that is possibly the most boring thing I've ever said. I have only had one half of a gin and tonic. I haven't drunk any more than that. Looking at myself in the picture, I look like I've drunk more than that. But that is tiredness, because I was up with the kids from about 4 a.m. I don't like to talk about it because we're all going through it, so there's no point me waffling on about it. Right. That is majority of the waffle done. Happy to waffle more, but we have had, so we've got our thoughts on today. We've got the 5 things you're probably going to have to pay for. Well, you're not definitely going to have to pay for, probably possibly going to have to pay for, depends on what your venue is and what you're doing. But generally speaking, some of these are going to be on your list. And we got a question from Charlotte, which is an opinion-based question on which she would like everyone's opinion. So Charlotte Brooke, long-time listener, regular contributor, she has a question which is about flowers, and she's put a picture up. I'm just going to glance across to it because I like to read these things out properly. She's put, I have a question. So I'm going to turn this into a poll, is the point of this, with the picture. But she wants to know if you were a woodland wedding outside, would you prefer the floral arrangements and decor to be like actually flowers, like roses and tulips and lilies, etc.? You know, beautiful flowers. Or would you like it to be the more natural, rustic side of things, with all the sorts of things that if Emily, who was here, she would be able to name. But as I'm here, I don't always know what they're called. But something's called, hold on, there's a post here. Someone's mentioned gypsy something. Sorry, can't find it. Yes, so all of that sort of stuff. So natural or more flowers. Apologies, I know it's called Ask an Expert, but that's why there's 2 of us, because we both have our specialities. Me, I'm all about the practical stuff. Emily, she's all about the pretty, beautiful stuff. So I'm going to put that question down as a poll so everyone can have an answer, not just the few of you who are watching tonight. But basically, opinions, feel free to put them up here because I'll make sure they go back to Charlotte, and I know Charlotte said she's going to watch later on. But do you want pretty flowers like roses and tulips and lilies, or at your outdoor woodland wedding, do you want natural stuff? So do you want it to fit, or do you want it juxtaposed with the more, what's the word I'm thinking of? Can't think when I'm tired. The more traditional sort of flowers set up. Anyway, please put your thoughts and opinions down. Like I say, I'm going to make it into a poll after this as well. So I know Charlotte really would like to hear what you all think. Which then leads us on to, we've got 2 main things left, both a bit conversation-y. And meadow and rustic and moss would be lovely. I hadn't thought about moss, Yvonne, actually. That would be quite nice. So meadow, rustic and moss from Yvonne. So we've got a giveaway tonight. Now I might hold on to this giveaway. I might do it into 2 parts. So tonight might be a general blanket offer stroke invite, and I might turn the giveaway into something as a post in the group where more people may, I'm going to be honest, more people may see it. Because at the moment, if I offer it, I don't think any of the few of you who are watching tonight are actually close enough to be able to take advantage of it. But I will give you the principles because I don't want you to miss out because I've decided to change my mind. But ultimately, Emily and I are giving away something quite nice and for free because we're nice people and all that sort of jazz. So I'm going to allude to the giveaway and come back to it, basically. Long story short, we have a lot of oak like this that is available. So if you are thinking you might want something, let me know and we will see. And we also have some larger bits for perhaps a cake stand or I'm trying to think of other uses. Or a general, they're all going to be stands. They're so big you can't really do much more with them. But if you want a very cool piece of oak, then let us know. But you will need to collect it from us in Botley in Hampshire, or we will arrange delivery within about 10-15 miles of Hampshire. So if you lived in Winchester, Southampton or Portsmouth or thereabouts, we will happily deliver it. Otherwise, it's collection from us in Hampshire if you want some lovely oak for your wedding. Hannah, I think it depends if your theme is rustic or contemporary. Yeah, I agree. It really depends, if you're going to go, I don't know. See, that's that double denim thought process in my head. So I actually agree, but I do think it can work. That it's like that traditional contemporary feel. Emily and I used to live in a house where we had this rustic wood burner, but up against this bright red wall, a very modern, contemporary wall, and it worked. So, it depends if you're going to go for that full-on, I love juxtaposed as a word, so that full-on juxtaposed kind of contrast, or you do want it to kind of blend in seamlessly. But I do think it depends what the rest of the theme is. But we'll put the poll up and I'll put rest of theme as a question, and perhaps Charlotte can answer it for us. So I've talked about the wood oak. If anyone fancies any wood oak, that sounds very Swedish. What bit does Yvonne? The wood or the flower part? So talked about the wood. We got some oak that's available. Just let us know, drop me a message or something like that. But like I say, you need to come and collect it from us in Botley, which I appreciate some of you live quite far away or live least reasonable distance, Winchester, Southampton, Portsmouth, and we can deliver it. Which then takes us on to the really, really, really exciting part of tonight, where we're going to talk about the things you're probably going to have to pay for at your wedding that you hadn't quite planned or budgeted or thought about. Now, I'm quite happy to do this because what I'm hoping is everyone will come up with some other suggestions. We had wood rounds under candles on our dinner tables. Absolutely, Louise, they look fab. There was a conversation about these a month or two ago, which I think you and a lady called Rosemary were in on. So yeah, we've actually got a few different sizes. So we've got that. We've got about 24 or 25 of these, and they're all similar. But yeah, they're available. There we go. And then we've got this one, which is not totally flat, as in it's a bit wonky. But I really like the idea of this having like a round of brie on it or something like that, because I thought it was quite pretty in the way it started to split already. But yeah, we had some trees felled on our land, and we asked the tree surgeons to sort us out 25 of those rounds. The majority are similar. Then there's a couple of just larger ones or a couple of smaller ones. So let us know if you're interested, but they can look fab as table centres. There's not enough for dinner plates, etc. Not dinner plates, charger plates and that sort of thing, but there are plenty for table centres, unless you're going to have 30 tables. Then it won't work. Anyway, I've got 5 things, well I've actually got 7 of things you may have to pay for at your wedding but you hadn't quite thought about and could be a bit of a bummer, but hopefully we can share a few ideas on around it. Now these are in no particular order, these are the list of the way I wrote them down. So I'm going to start with number 1 that Sylvie mentioned on my post today, bins and cleaning up. Now it sounds absolutely bizarre not to think about it, but I know for a fact Emily and I didn't think about it at our wedding, and on the day after our wedding a group of the lads, ushers and friends etc. loaded up a van with, bearing in mind we had a free bar that started with 1,000 bottles of beer. They loaded up the van with all of the glass and everything, because we'd done the free bar ourselves, the bar weren't taking the glass away, so we had all of that, all of the litter from the catering company who hadn't taken their litter away, but that's a completely separate story, and everything else. And they went down to the tip, and as the groom at the wedding, do you know what? I was quite unhappy that my friends had to do that. They did it for me. That's really, really bloody nice of them. But in hindsight, I would not want my friends doing that for me the day after the wedding. And, if you're happy with that, then that's cool. I wasn't, so that's it. So you need to think about bins and clearing up. It sounds really stupid, but if you're in a farmer's field, which loads of you are, then where's your litter going? Who's going to get rid of it? Do you just ring up Biffa or Sita or whoever they are and get them to put some big bins in? Do you negotiate something with your catering company, your marquee company? I remember as a marquee company, we did it for someone once. We agreed it in the terms and conditions, and put a charge in for it, because ultimately we can't just drive up to the tip with waste and get rid of it either. So it was a bit complicated, but we took that on for them. And I don't think that's a standard marquee company thing unless you get a particularly nice one like we were. But bins and clearing up is the one thing that is gonna probably cost you money that you haven't quite thought about. Right, bins and clearing up. So if anyone's got any thought, look, it really depends where your venue is, because like I say, I know Helen and Kieran at the weekend, who we talked about earlier, they were at a campsite, and at that campsite they had bins. Boom, it's done. So the clearing up was minimal, and I believe the catering company cleared the catering stuff away. I don't quite know what their bar situation was, but when we got there Sunday to take down everything we'd put up, there was not a lot of litter left. So I can only presume either they'd been up early doors clearing up, or the people in charge of their own areas had agreed to take it away. But that's that really, really boring part when you're talking to your suppliers to ascertain exactly what they do. Because it's really easy to go, yeah, we've got a bar company, wow, I really love the bar manager, let's book them. I get that. I live in that world where I get excited like that. But actually, sometimes you need to check the detail, and the detail is, are they going to clear their own stuff away, etc., etc. Next up on our list is toilets. I love talking about toilets because because we all need to go, B, because the options are quite varied depending on your venue, and C, actually there's some really nice versions. We did a poll a while back, I can't remember the lady's name, but she asked for an opinion on the blue portaloos or a posh loo block. But realistically, you may have to pay, if you're getting married in a field, probably somewhere between 400 and 800, if not a bit more or less, depending on what you sorry, I thought it was a kid crying. Depending on what you go for, you're going to have to pay for your guests to be able to go to toilet. It sounds horrific, but you're going to have to budget in. Now, you might be able to ask your marquee or TP company to hire it, or once again, like Helen and Kieran, you might be at a venue with toilets because they were at a campsite, which is fab, but factor that in. So if you find a field that is £100, and then you find a campsite that is £1,000, that difference is pretty much your toilets and your bins. So when you're thinking this is phenomenally cheaper, bear in mind you're about to spend the difference on bins and toilets. So actually, sometimes not going for the cheaper one is the right option. But toilets, bins, clearing up. Number 3 is a favourite here in the Outside Bride, something you're going to have to pay for that you probably haven't thought about. Although we talk about it that often, you probably have. It's power. It sounds really stupid, but at some point, I've just thought of another one. If at some point something at your wedding needs electricity, whether that be the DJ, the band, the bar, the catering, your father-in-law who wants to plug his iPad in, or your best man who wants to put a projector up to embarrass the groom, you need power. Once again, you should be able to talk to the venue or marquee or TP providers or whoever's doing that. They should be able to help you through that. Any reputable company is going to be able to help you through that. Once again, it really, I don't like putting prices out there because A, it depends where you go, but B, it's just, prices change daily. But a generator of about the right size, I think, is gonna cost you £400 or £500, with differences on how much fuel you have, whether they deliver it, whether you collect it and take it back, whether someone else does it, But that's once again something you may not have thought about, but you're gonna have to consider as power. Lights in your marquee TB. Yes, we're entering the longest days of the year at the moment, but what's the time? It's 8:25 nearly, and it's a little bit dark outside. If you're in a marquee or TP, it's going to be a lot darker. So you're going to need lights and everything. Dave Wade Smith charges about £1,000 for a generator. Thanks, Dave. So anyway, moving on. We've then got something else. a van. This sounds ridiculously stupid, a van or vehicle. So if you have been collecting stuff for donkey's years, ready for your wedding and making them, like loads of you are, because there is definitely that link between sort of outdoor wedding and DIY, etc., then somehow you need to transport all that. If you're lucky enough to have someone with a vehicle or a giant trailer or something similar, then fab. If not, you're probably going to have to hire a vehicle. And like us, we had to hire a vehicle because A, we lived in Hampshire and got married in Dorset, and B, we then had all that litter on the Sunday morning to get rid of. So absolutely, you're going to need to think about a vehicle to get rid of it. What else? No, not that one. So, fridge hire. It sounds really stupid again. Once again, different options. Like I know when we got married, we bought some chest freezers off eBay because we had a giant van. We figured we might as well use it. That I somehow, through chances of God, managed to arrange to collect on the way down to Dorset, and we bought these 2 chest freezers for £10 on eBay, £10 each, and then sold them again on eBay afterwards. Now, although not complicated, that is still a faff, and lining that up is a bit difficult. So if you want a fridge trailer or something similar, because you're going to want your beer, your Prosecco, whatever else, your champagne cold, your gatos, your pate, it all needs to be cold. Speak to your catering company. You never know, it could be included in your price with a catering company, because obviously some of the food they're going to have to provide you will need to be chilled, or you're going to have to bring it in or something like that, or you're just, you're just going to bring some fridges in. But a fridge trailer is going to be £200-300. Once again, depends on whether it's delivered, what size it is, and because there are small ones and large ones and everything else. So please don't quote me and go, Alan said they're that much, but just bear in mind these are just rough ballpark figures to help you think about it. So fridge hire. The last one is a bit more obvious, but it made it to our list, is water and glass hire. We have a lot of conversations with brides where they go, yeah, I've been told I need to make sure there's water in the field, and the farmer says his tap's not drinking water. It sounds absurd that one of the basic necessities of life needs to be provided. So there's a couple of questions on water. How much water is needed? And is it just a few for some jugs on the table, or I'm trying to think of a food that's heavily water based. Soup. That's all I could come up with. So water, it might be that you can go to Tesco's or whatever your supermarket is and get a few 5-litre bottles, or it might be that you need to provide something a bit bigger. Once again, if the farmer says it's not suitable for drinking, but you're boiling it for tea and coffee, as long as it's like not coming from the cow trough or something like that, then the chances are not suitable for drinking once it's boiled is probably fine. So if you do get anything, don't come back to me, but in principle that's fine. And then glass hire, you need to make sure that your bar are going to provide it. Does it need to go back clean or dirty? Do you want to just borrow it from a supermarket? Because do the supermarkets, can anyone let me know, do supermarkets still do glass hire? I think they do, but I don't know. But you've got your glass hire. So if you get glasses from like a catering supplies company, chances are you can return them dirty. I know a lot of those ones you can return them dirty. But water and glass hire are absolutely there with things that aren't always thought about. I think if I was booking a field, I would presume there was water there, or I would presume the caterers, Dave, they should, but they don't always. So, absolutely, it's making sure that everything's there that you need, that your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed, which is absolutely fab. So quickly run down that list. Bins clearing up, including that clear grass, because if your catering company makes a mess on the grass, or anyone else makes a mess on the grass, you may need to pay a fee for the grass clean. I know venues won't have hay bales because they leave such a mess, which sounds absurd when hay bales are such an integral part of what we all deem outdoor weddings. I think so anyway. But venues won't want them because of the mess they leave. And, you know, I've been to weddings where there's been a lot of smokers and a lot of cigarette butts that have then incurred cleaning fees. So, yeah, so you've got beans, clearing up, lose, power, van, fridge hire, keeping your stuff cold, water and glass hire. I'm gonna ask Hannah, who's our Outside Bride blog writer, to turn that into a fab blog post. Hannah, thumbs up please, because she's ace and she writes cool stuff like that. So get that out there so it's there for you all to remember if you don't want to watch back to 29 minutes of Ask an Expert number 18 to see what the last thing on the list. Right, that's it. So last thing tonight is it's the royal wedding at the weekend. I take it you are all as excited as us. We are Sam Level. What do you do? Create? Yeah, you do, Sam. There's, you know, sorry, I was just taken away from the royal wedding. You do. The best thing to do is create a smoking area. Make sure there's buckets with sand, with water, and all these other things. And really, just kind of drill it into them because it's. I don't know what it is about smoking because there'd be people who won't litter but they will flick their cigarette butt onto the grass. I think it's just one of those natural built-in things, but actually the filter tip, you know, it isn't biodegradable, or is after 1 billion years. But yes, absolutely create an area in the outdoors that you can, because ultimately they're going to be using matches and lit area, so it might just have to be by the fire. But also just doing a check round. Not a problem, Sam. We're here for you. I'd rather answer your questions than waffle. So anyway, create a smoking area, buckets of sand, buckets of mud. You know, don't go in anything complicated. Something that, you know, go and put some mud in it from the garden. It really doesn't need to be anything special. And just put some signs up going, please. Chances are that the vast percentage of your smokers are absolutely, you know, going to happily put their cigarette butt into the basket, into the bucket. So that's what you do. There's always going to be a very small percentage of litter anyway, and unfortunately that just needs a bit of a check round in the morning, or, you know, as one of the guys earlier mentioned, a clear up. And actually, I know as a marquee company, we always did a litter pick after we'd taken the marquee down. We'd pick up anything big and obvious or particularly bad. No worries. Right, that's it. Royal wedding on Saturday. I'm not waffling any longer. This can't be the longest ever Ask an Expert when I'm by myself, because that just doesn't make sense. I know I love the sound of my own voice, but it's too long. Anyway, so royal wedding is on Saturday. Once again, Louise and Matthew, assuming you're still here, then Sharon, I think, was it you who asked about the toilets? Louise and Matthew, once again, congratulations. Helen and Kieran, congratulations. Hannah, congratulations. Everyone else, I hope your plans are coming along lovely. Please, everyone, enjoy the royal wedding. Look out for our bell tents. You heard it here first. No, it's a joke. I wish. Imagine that if we had bell tents up. Whew. I think Emily and I would be retiring next week if we did. So absolutely have a fab week. Look forward to it next week. And thank you for following us on Instagram, LinkedIn we've been moving into, and everything else. Take it easy, team. Night night.